Call the June 24th budget meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of our May 22nd, 2024 meeting minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve.
I make said motion.
Motion to approve our May 22nd meeting minutes. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. No citizens participation. New business, budget. Tracy?
Well, you have in front of you the budget for the next fiscal year, and we have been working very hard on that up until the very last minute. It was pretty much done the last meeting that we had. The only changes that have been made since then, we did correct all of the salary issues, so hopefully that's all good. One thing that was added in there that wasn't budgeted for in the last year, for part-time employees, or this, we call them the seasonal employees, they are now allowed to collect unemployment. So that was added to the budget in both park and golf. Also, I did have to add the carryover capital projects. So they're not, if you look on the very first page, we'll kind of go over that a little bit. So the capital projects that were budgeted for this year are not included in the ending balance for the current fiscal year. So they're not reflected in what we're doing in this year. We had to add them into the next year. What we normally do is leave them in our totals for the current fiscal year. And then in August, we do a budget adjustment to put those into the new year. And because it's our new software, they recommended that we add the carryover projects into the software. And since we're starting in 25, that's what we had to do. So it was taken into account when figuring the ending fund balance for the current fiscal year and in the expenses for the next fiscal year. Line 1 on that first page, I just kind of give you a little summary on that, where it says reserve fund balance, or reserve balance, that $4,489,000. We are required to keep that, at least that much in our reserves for the general fund. It is part of our budget that was accepted previously. We keep that. It's 35% of operating expenses. That does not include the capital because it's so high. So that is 35% of our operating expenses that we are required to keep in the funds. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
If you look through, I did have to increase, I had to add a transfer from capital improvements tax to the public facilities bond fund because they would be over approximately $50,000. I think it was like 47,000 and some change. So I did a transfer from capital improvements to the public facilities bond fund because we cannot budget a deficit fund balance in any of our groups. I also increased the use tax transfer by $50,000 to make sure that that is covered. We had budgeted a transfer of $605,000, and I'm pretty sure we're going to exceed that anyway, so I don't feel like that's going to create any problems, but we will monitor that amount and make sure no department heads go over their allotment. You know, it's 40, 30, 30 for the split on those. And when I did the carryovers for the capital improvements, I did have to increase the grant revenue in the general fund by $1.5 million for the McGregor Street Bridge project. So I did make a change on that one as well. But other than those, everything that you saw at the last meeting should be the same. Do you have any questions on the budget?
Questions?
I have none.
Feel pretty good to be done with it? How about that as a
Well,
question?
we're not done.
Okay, what comes
We are
next?
done with this part, but we still are going to do the budget book. which puts together a lot more information. So the citizens will be able to go to our website and they will have access to the information of where we come up with the numbers, you know, the summaries for each department, and more transparency.
Okay. So does it feel good to be done with part A?
This part, yes. Well, absolutely.
So, Tracy, I thought that we had reserve balances in other funds besides general. Do we not have reserve balances in any of the other funds?
Yes, we do in the golf, but, and it is not reflected on there. Golf does have a little bit. Nope, we did away with the golf. I would have to look to see if there is on anything else.
Okay, that was,
But I know we used to have it on, in the golf, but we released those
right, I
funds.
know we did that 2 years ago, I
Mhm.
think.
So I'll have to look.
Okay. And then landfill closure, we don't have anything budgeted.
We do not, so we can, if we decide to, we can close that out, because that note is paid off.
Okay, so the driving range, was that what it was? I think, the last.
No, it was something, it was, gosh, I don't remember what it was. I'll
Okay.
have that information for you tomorrow.
Any other? So we have the ordinances on the agenda tomorrow night, so I need a motion to forward this budget to the council for approval. So I would entertain a motion to forward this budget to council for approval.
I move we forward this budget to council for approval.
Alrighty, got a motion to forward the budget to council for approval. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Y'all done a very good job, Tracy.
Thank you.
Do you know how long it takes you to complete the budget book, just out of curiosity?
Then what we're going to do next?
Yes,
Have no clue, because this is new software.
the first time.
Yeah, this will be our first time.
Okay,
You'll do great.
Yeah, getting the, initial information in there is gonna be the time consuming part. They can use AI, to look at each department and create a summary if we wanted to. So I've set it up to where it will do that, and then we go in and tweak it. But so hopefully it might not take too long. But we do have to include, like the history of the city, things like that, so we'll see.
so you're gonna have something similar to this,
It's actually gonna be more detailed.
more detailed than that. So this is what the budget looked like with the 117 spreadsheets. So you can see, we are about half the paper.
Well, that has CWEP in it as well, and CWEP's in the back of this.
Yeah, see what's in the back of this one also. So, yeah,
No, it'll have more information in it.
so at our last meeting, we voted to forward their budget and the rate increase already,
Yes.
so that is on the council for tomorrow night. Okay. Next item on the agenda
That
is,
CWEP will be included in ours,
Right.
so there will be a separate one for the rate increase, but only one for the budget adoption.
okay,
That's why it's all in one book.
okay. Next item on the agenda is consider and discuss the budget adjustment for the golf and civic enhancement.
There was an adjustment in the golf course fund for adding the $5,000 for the seed. And was the test project that they were doing, a sample area. And then, they will come, if it works, they'll come back in, later in the next fiscal year and ask for additional funds to do a bigger area. They wanna make sure that, the test area works first. And then we also, need to find out, Abby, did you find out if they're gonna be doing if the sprigging is separate from the winter kill?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay. And I did find out that $50 is only if the tree has landed on another building. So it's not $50 per tree.
Just $50 if it causes damage to a building.
Or fence.
Yes, something that's covered under the insurance. So if it just fell out on the golf course, we don't get anything.
And if no one was there to hear it, did it make any sense?
And then also in the golf fund was the additional expense for gasoline, $6,000. The carts have increased usage, therefore the gas expense has gone up. So that's a good thing to have that adjustment. Also, they had received donations to buy Little League equipment. Donation revenue does go into what they call a Civic Enhancement Fund. So that adjustment is to be able to use the Civic Enhancement Funds or the donation funds for the specified purpose.
So were these donations, or were they, I forget what the term was that we had, sponsorships?
No, they're donations.
So do we not have,
Like,
or did public services accept the donations?
they did.
Okay, that clears it up for me.
Yes, they did. What was his name? The donations.
Jared Howe.
Jared Howe. We'd received donations from when he passed away, and then a donation from
Greater Youth Baseball.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to forward resolution for the budget adjustment to golf and civic enhancement funds to council for approval.
So moved.
Got a motion to forward the resolution to council for approval. Any further discussion?
I will just mention that seed was out over the weekend, and it's positive to see that.
Good. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Staff reports.
We, as I said previously, we have spent a lot of time getting the budget perfected, and the staff has worked hard to make sure that everything was taken care of, and I have to say that they've done a great job helping to get everything within the boundaries of our budget constraints, I mean, as far as the revenues and the expenses go. Also, the sales tax revenue for the current fiscal year did come in about $12,000 under budget. We had increased it by 13%, so that's pretty close when you had the increase with that amount of an increase. The use tax, of course, came in higher than anticipated and continues to stay strong. At the next meeting, we will have some discussion on the downtown sidewalk grant. That's still moving forward. We had to fill out some additional paperwork. I guess there's a quarterly report that's required to be filed, and that was just taken care of. We did have to change the signers on the grant due to the changes in staffing, and you'll also have a budget adjustment at the next meeting.
Got the next one. Okay. Okay. Abby, for tomorrow night, do you have the final report, like how many kids participated in Little League and all those types of things? Can you give that in your report tomorrow night? I mean,
Sure.
I want to know, I mean, I know we probably don't have numbers how many participated last year to see how many participated, but I think it would just be good information to.
Yeah. You have to do.
Any other questions?
Dorothy, anything you'd like to report? No? Chris, comments?
I don't have any right now. I just want to thank all of the staff for working extra hard with the budget adjustments and things that we've had to make this year. That there was some unanticipated things going on there too, and they hammered it out. Kept our budget meetings to a minimum, which is always good.
That is one thing that I do want to talk about. If you have any suggestions or comments on the budget process, do not hesitate to send me a message, ways that you think that we can improve it for transparency's sake.
Eric?
I would say that, you know, from the meetings I attended last year, this budget was a faster process for sure. So kudos to you
Thank you.
and to those who helped you, staff, you know, department heads. That's all I have. Thank you.
Just thanks to you, everybody involved, department heads. I know they had to cut several things that may have been wanted, but
They did.
greatly appreciate the fact that we were able to walk in and that was already done. I mean,
That's true.
Amen.
and this was a new process for me, so learning as we go on it. But the two long meetings seems like that saved multiple additional meetings. I'd rather do that any day.
Yeah.
Good.
One thing that I would like to make the committee aware of is that our agency contracts, we've already voted to forward them in the budget as they currently exist. So we're not increasing funding for any of the agencies other than their contract automatic 3% increase. Tracy, myself, others have talked to the other agencies, and almost all of them want contract revisions, changes. So I've always said that when we're working on the budget is not the time to negotiate contracts, because it really muddies the water up. When you don't know what number is gonna be in the budget, it really muddies it up. So most likely next month, we will start looking at those contracts and the revisions. I know the Humane Society, when we met with them the other day, they brought us an entirely new contract that they had written. Miss, I don't remember her last name, Corley,
Nancy Gordon.
said that she has board members that may want to cancel the existing contract. So we'll just have to see where that's at, but I know the chamber wants to, would like to revise theirs, and Vision Carthage would like to revise their contracts. So those three contracts are the only contracts that we currently have that we will work on making revisions after the fiscal year starts. And if we change the contracts, we can revise the budget and make a budget adjustment for whatever the new contracts is. Some of it, I believe, may be some in-kind contributions that we're gonna offer them versus financial, and things like that. So we may not have to make the budget, adjust the budgeting, but I don't know. That's one thing. And about what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago was the first time when we actually had contracts, or was it last year? We had contracts before budget, and then we kind of got thrown off course this year. So those things we will be looking at, probably starting maybe next month, as soon as next month. Is that fair, Tracy?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Anything else that needs to come before the committee?
I should probably update you guys on the insurance. The adjuster, John, called. He's releasing $100,000 before, we haven't really submitted anything. We're still getting quotes on everything. but he's like, just to cover what we've had to shell out so far, and we've already replaced the tornado siren, so that's good, and that's been paid for, so. that's it. We're still working on getting quotes.
Have we put together a total of how much cleanup from April and May have cost?
Still working on it.
Still working on it, okay. Yeah, if we can maybe get that next month's budget meeting
It'd
or,
be nice.
yeah, yeah. Did you get moved?
Not yet. We're working on it.
All righty. Anything else needs to come before the committee?
Not that I can.
And our insurance is going up July first, right? But that's already in the
It
budget.
is in the budget.
Yeah.
So, in case you're asked, the salaries are, we have a step July 1, and then January 1, we have the COLA that goes into effect. I believe it's 3.2%. All of the increases for, we do allow a 10% increase for health insurance. We haven't had to use all of that. It's just a number that is standard to put in the budget to increase by that amount. Let's see. Our work comp rate actually went down, and the retirement did go up 1%.
Something I just thought about, talking about health insurance.
Mhm.
I know the last few years we've done different, health fair type things. Is that in the budget, or did
Yes.
we, going for, okay, so we can do them again this year, okay.
Yes,
Okay, I didn't even think
it's
about.
under your CMA account,
Okay.
which is Central Municipal Activities,
Right.
the 46636, and there's an employee wellness line.
Okay, I don't know why, when you just said health insurance, I thought, I hadn't thought about that.
Yes, we have a very active committee that works together. They get together each month and they make recommendations as far as what they can do, different challenges. Is the step challenge going on right now? You can
Yes.
see I'm lazy, I'm not participating in that one. There's step challenges going on. They do get incentives for going to the gym. I think you have to go 15 times a month.
Well,
12 times a month. They have a step challenge that if you get, how many is the step challenge? Is it 8?
I don't do that.
8,000 steps a month, you get an incentive for that.
A month or a day?
A day.
Oh.
If you average 8,000 steps a day,
Yes, I said
you get a month, yeah.
I was gonna
I
say,
can do 8,000
8,000 in a month,
month.
you wouldn't be walking at all.
We have free hearing tests going on right now.
Yes, free hearing test. It's even goes for retired employees, and so.
And spouses.
Mhm. So, yeah, there are a lot of benefits that we give our employees for that. And then at the end of the year, if they meet specific guidelines, then they get an incentive.
Okay. Well, seeing nothing else to come before the committee, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you for my fancy pen.
Oh, you're welcome.